Hello, my name is Michael Krager. I chose 30 terms to go over for my Proving Ground 1. I did want to point out that for our assignment, we were assigned in groups. So I'm going to show this real quick. Me and Mr. Bryant, Jonathan Bryant, we did go over the project together. We do work kind of opposite shifts, so a little bit challenging to kind of coordinate. But I did give him a list of terms to go over with. So here's my list of terms that I'm gonna go through here. So the project was to try to create 30 sentences of our own, which is a little bit more challenging for me because I'm not that creative, but here it goes. So, first one, the process where the body maintains a constant internal environment is called homeostasis. The complete set of genetic information in an organism is called the genome. A hereditary bleeding disorder in which a blood clotting factor is missing is called hemophilia. The epithelial tissue that forms the epidermis of the skin and surface layer of the mucous membranes is called the epithelium. In contrast, the endothelium is the epithelial tissue that lines the blood and lymph vessels, body cavities, glands, and organs. Tissues that provide protective padding, insulation, and support is called the adipose tissue. The analgesic that reduces pain and fever is commonly referred to as Tylenol or acetaminophen. A sugar pill used in controlled trials to test new medications is called a placebo. While listening to their patient, the doctor heard a coarse rattling sound, which they determined was rhonchi. The test given for drug screenings typically is a urinalysis. There is a specific line on endotracheal tubes for chest x-rays where these rays don't pass. This line is called the radiopaque line. The presence of pus in urine is called pyuria. At the end of life, or when there is nothing more doctors can do, palliative care will often be consulted to ease their pain. When the body's temperature is abnormally low, patients are considered to have hypothermia. A traditional Chinese medicine practice using thin needles that are inserted into specific points of the body is called acupuncture. When the provider listens to the patient's lungs during their physical exam, they are performing auscultation. When providers evaluate the ear canals, they use the otoscope. When a patient has poor perfusion, they have poor blood flow through an organ. A disorder or abnormal condition that exists at the time of birth is considered a congenital disorder. STIs are considered communicable diseases because these diseases are spread from one person to another. They performed a post-mortem examination, which is also called an autopsy. She wanted to become an epidemiologist, fascinated by the study of outbreaks of the disease. The doctors were unable to determine the cause of the disease. This is referred to as an idiopathic disease. Viruses and bacteria are living pathogenic organisms that often cause infectious disease. MRSA is often a hospital-acquired infection, also known as a nosocomial infection, where the disease is acquired in a hospital or a clinic. Most biology students need to take a physiology course where they learn the functions of the structures of the body. The medical professional that is trained to draw blood for lab testing is called a phlebotomist. He was in residency to be a radiologist, a doctor who specializes in evaluating their patients with x-rays. A contraindication is a factor in the patient's condition that makes the specific treatment dangerous or not recommended. One part of a CBC or complete blood count is the hematocrit, the measurement of the percentage of a blood sample occupied by the red blood cells. And this is going to complete my assignment. Thank you.